Hi, and I would like before we get into the lesson, I would like you to comment, like, and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, so this is kind of a drawing I have of the staff, right here. This is the staff. This is the staff right here. This is this is another version of the staff right here. This is actually called the grand staff. Now, in this part right here, this is the treble clef. That is that is the treble clef right there. Now this is what we call the bass clef. This right here is what we call the bass clef. Now this is also called the treble clef is also called G clef, which is which is known for because it wraps around the G because it wraps around the G note, the G line. Now, in order to understand all this, I'm just going to let you know what each line represents. Now, this is a whole note. This is a half note. This is a quarter note. And right now, that's all you really need to understand is the whole note, the half note, and the quarter note. That's all you really need to understand right now. In the very beginning, that's all you really need to understand is the whole note, half note, and quarter note. Now I'm going to use whole notes to actually represent the to understand everything, understand all the lines and everything. Now this would be we're going to start with the bass clef. Now this line right here is actually E. Okay, we'll just do that. Actually, yeah. We will start off with. I'm sorry. We will start off with the treble clef. Okay, with the treble clef, the notes are actually the notes spell face. Now, face spells the notes. In between these lines represents like if I were to draw a whole note in between this line, it would actually be a I'm sorry, I just dropped something. It would actually be a F note. So if I were to draw a circle there, if I were to draw a circle here, that would be an F. That would be an F right there. If I were to draw a circle here, that would be an A right here. If I were to draw a circle here, that would be a C. If I were to draw a circle here, that'd be a whole note as an E. Now the lines represent a total different note. So in between the F and the A, we have a G. In between the A and the C, we have a B. In between the C and the E, we have a D. Now above the E, we have an F. Now I'm going to explain that in a second. Now now an easy way to interpret this would be F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's all it is. Now, the reason this is an F and that's an F, this would be our root, and this would be our octave. We have a root and we have an octave. The octave and the roots are basically the same notes, just in a different pitch. Now what we have, we have now we have these lines spell face. So that'd be so that so That would be our root. Our root of the note. The root is always the first. Our root is always the first note in the scale that you're playing. The octave is always the last note in the scale that you're playing. Just imagine this as a scale. This isn't really a scale. I'm just explaining everything to you with the staff. So this F and this F are an octave apart. That's all we have to think about. Now this with the bass clef is totally different. It's just different notes. It's the same exact thing, just different notes. Now this would be a G. And this would be an A. This would be a B. This would be a C, D, E, F, and G. Now you always notice the bass clef starts with G. I'm sorry, this is an E right here. So that's an E right there. So yeah, that's an E right there. So this is a G. So that's E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Yeah. So this right here is actually the first line starts with a G with the bass clef. Then there's an A. Then there's a B. Then there's a C. Then there's a D. E, F, and G would be in the middle space, and then this would be an A. The last line would be an A. And then after the A, it would be a G. That's the octave. And here's your root. So we have our roots.